Welcome back to Fan Talk, everybody. David,
Simon,
Logan,
and today we're just going to be talking about what to watch. A little show about things that we've been seeing on any kind of streaming network, movie, television. Just kind of talking about things that are popular and out right now that you guys should be watching or maybe not be watching.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time on it, in our opinion. So a lot of this is going to be opinion oriented.
well, and also shows that possibly are out, but maybe aren't getting a whole lot of buzz, but should be getting a little bit more.
Should be a little more. And like I said, some of this, there's going to be stuff to catch up on because it might be a new series, but it might be a new season of something that's out. And, if we're talking about it, you probably want to catch up on it.
Because there's just so much out these days. It's impossible for one person to watch everything.
Yeah.
So kind of got to share our notes on kind of what's good and what's not.
Yeah, and so kind of know, should I be wasting my time on this or should I look elsewhere? Yeah. So, who wants to start us off today?
Well, if this is what to watch or this is what not to watch for me lately. Let's see. We're on season 10, I think, of Shameless now. And I just hate watching the hell out of this. It was a great series there for the first, 4 or 5 seasons, and not a lot of people were watching it. And then all of a sudden, the backlog of episodes gets transferred to Netflix there. And everybody starts catching up going, man, this is an awesome show. So it gave them a bump in the ratings, and then everybody signed on again for a few more seasons, and holy hell is it bad.
Is it Shameless?
Is it Shameless?
I really am just hate watching it at this point. Every character on there's no redeeming qualities for any of them anymore. You can't root for anyone. It's just terrible.
I felt when I watched it, that the dad, he was just an unredeemable character, and that's what made him who he was. But overall, the other characters had really highlighted qualities. I feel the same as you. As you get through the seasons, at some point, they're all just dirtbags.
Yeah, the quality has just dipped so far, and you're right, all of them suck now. Yeah. Frank might actually be the character that you would root for over all of them now, and that's really saying something.
They jumped the shark, and then they jumped the whale. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, things I've been watching that just recently came out is we got the 4th season finally of Rick and Morty, which a lot of folks, Rick and Morty is an adult cartoon, and it's really funny. It started off on Adult Swim, and it was just a kind of small little show, and it started picking up steam. They released 2 more seasons, but there was a lot of time. Like sometimes at one point, I think there was over 2 years between seasons, and I know that the writers it was more of a hobby. It wasn't something that they particularly liked. They actually weren't big fans of the show themselves, and they also one of them was having a lot of family issues, and so it was really kind of one of those things that you expect to go by the wayside. But because it's been so popular and so well written,
hear about it everywhere.
Yeah, it just started picking up that esteem, and now, of course, last year they signed on for 70 more episodes, and we finally got the first season out of those 70. And so we're 4 episodes in. For you guys that haven't watched Rick and Morty, I really suggest going back and watch them. They're short, sweet. You can get through those first 3 seasons in a couple of days without having to kill and waste a whole lot of time. It's basically about a mad scientist, if you will, who's been missing for 25 years. He shows up at his daughter's doorstep, and he's now living with her husband, and 2 kids, in which he goes on interdimensional travels with his grandson, whose name is Morty Smith. Okay. And it's just a lot of fun, and it's like slapstick kind of comedy in a lot of it. Of course, Rick believes that nothing really matters because there's all these different dimensions. He even explains in one episode, spoiler, if we kill your whole family on accident, it's okay, we can just go to another dimension where they haven't died and replace them.
So this is kind of like Endgame as opposed to Back to the Future.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely a darker viewpoint. He's an alcoholic. He, is a narcissist. He, believes basically he's like a god. And in a lot of ways, he proves it. But it's a lot of fun. But it also gets pretty deep. It's one of those cartoons that's like funny, but then you'll have an episode where you see some a little more dramatic, where he believes that nothing matters, but in the end, maybe one thing does, and that is family. Yeah. And that's the kind of, I think the underlying thing I get from it is that family matters. But if you guys haven't seen Rick and Morty, 4th episode just aired on Monday. I recommend tuning in for it and watch that back catalog. It's good.
What platform?
That is actually on Cartoon Network.
Okay, actual like TV.
Is it? No. Yeah.
We still have that, I think.
It's on actual television.
Okay, fair enough. All right. My choice for the week is The Crown. Season 3 just came out. We now have a new queen, and she's entered into a midlife, or new actress for the
I can't
queen.
believe that you watched The Crown. That is so unlike you.
No,
Out of character.
I like the period dramas. No, the new actress for the Queen has moved into the 1960s. The first couple of seasons were during the 50s, during when she started her reign. So now we have middle-aged Queen. She has kids. The country's having economic problems. It's third season so far. I'm most of the way through it. It's been every bit as good as the first couple seasons. So I think anyone that likes period dramas or like the first two seasons, they need to be checking this out. For being an hour-long episodes, and usually they cover like either a certain incident in actual life or a series of incidents over a little period of time. There's only so much that they can put in a whole hour along with the scripted drama to be historically accurate, but they're really good at what they do put in.
Yeah.
So it's not like, obviously a lot has to be left out of what actually did happen, but what they do have in, it's close enough that for TV that it works.
Yeah.
And you kind of get a feel for the royal family at that period in time. And I'm looking forward to them as they keep going. I think they're planning on doing seasons until they're pretty much all the way up to current day. They're planning on doing, each season covers about a decade, give or take, of time in their life.
Okay. All right. So what else have you been watching?
All right, so I give you a what not to watch, and I guess I'll go ahead and give you something to watch that's actually enjoyable now. Don't make it to the theater very often, but got a chance to go see Knives Out the other day, and what an excellent movie.
It was
It's
incredibly
a
good.
radical departure from all the comic book movies and everything kind of,
And it still has a Christmas.
dominating the box
Yeah.
office. And man, it was nice just to see kind of I almost call it kind of like a little indie film,
Yeah.
but with a lot of A-listers in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you throw in Jamie Lee Curtis and Daniel Craig and Chris Evans, and maybe his first role since Captain America.
I think it is his first role since Captain
And
America.
let him really be a douchebag and the complete opposite of Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis was excellent. Like, it was just a fantastic movie. I know it's making a lot of money at the box office, strong word of mouth. So
Good
I
on
would
Rotten
recommend getting out to the theater and seeing it. It's worth it. So.
All right. This one is another one that I've been streaming for a while. I wrapped this up actually back in July, but it's something we haven't talked about on the show, and I kind of want to get that out there for those of you who haven't watched Stranger Things.
Wait, what's it called?
Stranger Things.
Never heard of this one, so,
but that's the thing, folks.
I'm
is
interested.
A lot of you have probably heard of Stranger Things, but believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there who still are watching the show. And, it's one of those things that people hear about it like, oh, is it really worth it now? We're 3 episodes in.
You talked me into it, and-
This
yeah.
is one of those shows, folks, you need to go and watch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have Netflix. I mean, everybody has Netflix. If you don't, it's worth picking it up for.
Yep.
It really is.
It really is a period drama. It's based in the 80s. It's a horror drama, if you want to call it that.
Comedy.
Comedy.
It's pretty
It's a
much
little
just
bit of everything.
Mix of everything.
Yeah, but it's a group of kids who are friends. Still, there's a little bit of interdimensionalism in it, but basically it
One
revolves.
superhero.
Yeah, it revolves around a group of friends who befriend a girl who has some superhuman powers, and they're battling against creatures from an alternate dimension, which they call the Upside Down, which is a mirror of the same world that we live in, just darker and
Terrifying.
More terrifying. And it's I don't want to give away too much because it is so good, but it's got a star-studded cast, a lot of really great actors, and all 3 seasons are completely different. In fact, the first season, by far, in my opinion, is the best. Totally worth watching. The second season is a little slower.
Yeah.
It's a little tougher to get through, folks. I think it's worth watching. I think you'll still love it.
So it picks
but-
back up in the third.
Season
but,
3, man.
but season 3,
was fantastic.
it's worth watching season 2 just to get you to season 3.
the
Season
mall,
3
man, that was-
is fantastic. For people our age that remember that era of when malls were coming in and it was a big thing.
Oh,
They were
all
knocking-
It's very nostalgic.
yeah, they're knocking out all the small businesses.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in it, and then it brings back our fear of the Russians during that period of time. And it's a lot about them doing the same experimentation that the Americans were doing in the first
Yeah.
season, and they've kind of infiltrated themselves into this town, and they're using the mall as a cover. It's really great. It's short. There's I want to say
There was only, I think, 8 episodes.
8 episodes a
this last
season.
one?
Yeah, it's like really short, quick to get through. They're about 45, 50 minutes each. If you aren't watching Stranger Things, invest the time. Buy them on DVD, get Netflix, go and watch the show. It's
Absolutely.
totally worth your time.
Yeah, I love the 80s throwbacks.
Yeah.
Never-ending story.
Nostalgia overload.
The
Yeah.
never-ending story was great.
The nostalgia overload in it I haven't seen since like some of these Marvel films and stuff where they're throwing stuff out there for the fans of comic books. This throws out things for fans of that era. If you were
Yeah,
born in like the late 70s, 80s,
Early
even
80s,
early
yeah.
90s, and you remember like all that 80s stuff, I mean, it's just the toys, the music, the movies,
Hairstyle,
the hairstyles,
clothes.
the stores in the background. You
Yeah.
know, like it's
Even
really
the cars. I mean, all the
it's-
details is
It's
amazing.
packed full
Yeah.
of stuff that it just makes you feel like you're
Like a kid
sitting,
again,
like you're
man.
sitting on the
Yeah.
floor when you're like 12 watching television.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
So-
That's like kind of a Goonies feel like on some of that too. Like
Yeah.
I mean, just
It just
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, just a really fun drama. And it's got that horror feel with kids. It's just a really good all around series. There's really not a lot of negative to say about it. I can nitpick the second season to death, but overall it's still
I said a little
entertaining.
slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They found their footing there in the third
Yeah.
third
Yeah.
season, though.
My last choice is available on HBO. Catherine the Great. I know I've kind of gone really crazy with 2 period dramas.
Two
about
period
queens.
dramas, Simon.
That wasn't
Right
intentional.
in my wheelhouse.
That wasn't intentional. Because I do like all the things that you guys have talked about. I do enjoy
Yeah.
those. But just it so happened that I don't actually have HBO at this point, but
Yeah.
I happened to catch the Catherine the Great series about a week and a half ago, and just flipping through on somebody else's TV and kind of staying there a couple of days over the holidays, and it's like, I'll give it a try.
I'm going to watch
I'm
all of
gonna
it.
binge the hell out of this.
Yeah, it's only a 4-episode
Yeah.
series, and I was like, I'll give it a try. Helen Mirren, I mean, worthwhile. It's about the Catherine the Great of Russia.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Ruthless woman.
Oh, you're ruthless, but you had to be to stay in power then.
Yeah.
And it was thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah.
It shows the beginning of her rise to power, her from taking over her husband's reign, her kind of keeping her son at bay to not take over, kind of having an endless litany of lovers and her kind of her favorites, and how she kind of just played the power game all through the years to stay in power, and just made her country even stronger. Very well done. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was surprised there's only 4 episodes. I thought they could have made a lot more with it. I think this was one of Helen Mirren's pet projects because she played the queen, and the age difference for most of the series and Helen Mirren is quite a bit different.
Substantial, yes.
So this is obviously she's like, I want to do this, and I'm playing that part.
Yeah. My God, I'm going to be the queen.
Yeah. But if you like that kind of stuff, intrigue, stuff that more along the lines of Versailles or The Tudors, more so on that kind of end of things than The Crown. This is a bit more sex and violence than The Crown does. But reminds me a bit more of The Tudors or Versailles or some of those more period ones you've seen coming out in the last handful of years.
Yeah. So just a wrap up real quick. Knives Out is a yes. You said
Shameless is a no.
Shameless is a no.
Yeah.
If you watch Shameless, watch
Even
like
though
the
I'm
first,
still watching it, I don't
but
know
watch
why
the
the hell I'm
first
still
like
watching it,
4
but,
seasons, and after the 4th, 5th season,
Oh, even
just
the
let
fifth,
it go. Yeah,
fifth
let
is
it
pretty
go.
good. I think they're on 10 now, so you can
Yeah.
just kind of
After just watch it
skip the last
halfway
5,
and then
maybe.
just drop it.
Great comedy.
Stranger Things you're going to want to catch. Rick and Morty also, and both of those are short, easy to catch up on. And then we got The Crown is also a go, as well as
Catherine.
the Catherine the Great. So these shows are all going to be on, from what I tell you, they're at the theater right now, but we also got HBO and Netflix. So give them a watch.
Out of all those, I would say I think the one that will be the most enduring or the most time tested, I think will probably be Stranger Things.
Honestly.
I think easily
Yeah.
out of all that.
And as far as like and subscribe, ring that bell, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. On the comments, comment on stuff that you guys are watching, because our fans tune in and watch these shows, and then we can only watch so much. So if you have recommendations, plug them down there. Tell us stuff that people should be watching, so people can you can kind of be part of the show and letting people know if there's something out there definitely don't watch or do watch, or if you totally disagree with us and think that all 10 episodes of Shameless is
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Feel free to.
I might get some hate for that. I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, leave a comment. We'll give you a shout out and then include your thoughts on the next show.
Yeah. Until then, take care.